www/1. Alright, so here we go into game 1 of SAS against iwL. And spawning in the top left-hand position as the teal Terran is Biggest, and in the bottom right-hand position as the red Terran is Skylime.
Biggest sounds so familiar. Feels like I should know him.
He's played a lot. I think he's like a BB plus guy. Of course, Skylime, arguably one of the top 2 or 3 Terrans in the scene. I don't know if he's had, I might be wrong, but I don't know if he's had quite the results in the last couple months that he was having earlier, but I don't think he's done poorly either. I'm going to try to see what I can pull up on him. Although he is definitely one of the funniest posters on TL if you haven't read his stuff. Guy knows how to make great humorous posts. Yeah, he has not done especially well recently. He's only 4 of his last 10 games. Although, let's see what these games are of. Only 2 games in STL, though. So, it's not that updated. Not really any sort of recent sample to go by to have any idea what to expect.
I like TVT on this map. It's interesting, and I think it really comes down to those center expansions. It's something they're really hard to take. It's very easy to take the 4 expansions right around the main and then the one in the corner and just sit on that. But the person who's going to be able to win the game is somebody who can control the center of the map so much that they can manage to take one of the center expos. So it's really hard though, especially considering the tanks can siege from the low ground and attack up at the mineral line.
Yeah.
You need to control everything around that base.
Kind of like that match point situation where you can do that as well.
Yeah.
And Skylime is worth noting, he scouted really fast. He sent like a depot scout out. It was like 9 scout. And it looks like he's going to go Rax Expand, got 400 minerals, and there it is. We've got a Rax Expand from Skylime. And the factory goes down now for Biggest.
Does the barracks placement from Biggest strike you as weird?
I think it's just down there so he can float it down faster. But I don't even know if he's going to make a Marine. Sense. I think he's waiting to see if he has to make a Marine.
He already made one, it's on the ramp.
Oh, okay, yeah, he made one. He'll probably just stop at 1 here. Especially once he sees the expansion. Oh, but Skylime is in good blocking position and is actually going to deny Biggest to scout. And that does prompt Biggest to build a second Marine, just in case. Which is unfortunate because he doesn't really have to build any of them.
Alright. Well, the first vulture's on the way for Biggest. Is Skylime gonna be forced to throw down a bunker just to deal with the first vulture, or does he think he's gonna be fine with it? Nah, he's gonna throw down the bunker. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty common too, especially in case there's tanks. It buys you a little extra time for your seats to finish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Apparently some games are not in TLBD. Skylime is 3-1 in STL. Some Marines going into the bunker, and Biggest turns his own Marines around, just gonna send the Vulture down. And Biggest getting his machine stopped. Skylime's factory about to finish, so not going to be that big of a difference in like siege timing or anything like that. So I think Skylime's just going to move nicely into the early mid game with a little bit of an economic advantage.
In Skyline's base, we have 2 hidden starports being thrown down. So a little 2-port Wraith from him. Alright. Interesting. Gonna take a good look at, or a close eye on Biggus's base, just looking for when he, there we go, throws down the armory. So he will have the armory up, it's not as if he forgot about that and will be caught completely off guard. But even with the armory up, 2-port Wraith can still be annoying for the player having to deal with it. It is difficult for a single Goliath or 2 Goliaths in the very beginning to keep up with the Wraiths as they harass. And he is building the control tower too, so he's going to be committing some serious stuff to this, presumably the control tower being built for Cloak.
Second gas taken for Skyline. Biggest has not yet elected to take that. I'm sure he will soon though, as gas is usually a very limiting resource in PvT. We got a few TvT. We got Goliaths on the way now. 2 of them from Biggest. Although 1 Wraith already done for Skyline, 2 more on the way. So we'll see how many Skyline waits for before he kind of pops the surprise.
I assume it's going to be. It's either going to be 3 or 5. If he waits until 5, then it'll coincide with Cloak.
Yeah, there's a good chance he just wait till 5 and then show up.
Yeah.
Cause some problems. I don't see an eBay yet, so no scan. So the Cloak is going to be really annoying if he doesn't get one of those 2 fairly soon. And if he tries to do some sort of aggressive thing, it's just going to get absolutely shut down unless he gets scan here, Academy in a hurry.
Looks like it is just going to be 3 for the time being.
Alright, so he's showing his cards.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to show them. Unfortunate that he flew right over the vultures and the mines. Maybe the barracks saw the vultures?
Definitely noticed, cancels the tanks that we're building, and pulls his army back a little bit. So here come the race. Cloak is not quite done yet, I don't think. But it is about to finish, and the race go immediately into the main base. There is a Goliath there waiting to greet them. But Cloak is done, so we should see that. Yeah, there's the Cloak going down. Picks off an SCV building a depot, and now just going to start harassing the SCVs a little bit. eBay is going up in the natural, which he definitely needs right now because this Cloak is going to be exceptionally irritating. Picking off the SCV, building the Academy, and now the eBay, which are good SCV targets to get. But the eBay does finish, so some turrets should start to go up. And he'll have a little more time here as he waits for Cloak. Energy still left on these guys. Going to be another 20-30 seconds before the Cloak starts to wear off. And Biggest is just kind of running around awkwardly like, I can't do anything about this right now. And it's actually quite a decent number of Wraiths here doing damage. I mean, these will take out SCVs fairly fast. I think he's going to have a hard time here, actually. I don't really think he can get up a depot here, or a turret here. He's just going to have to wait for a Cloak to run out and take a bunch of damage in the meantime. That's a lot of SCV kills. Alright, so Skyline is watching his Cloak numbers pretty carefully and starts microing right as he realizes his Cloak is going to run away. So tons of damage done there for Skyline's Wraiths. It went from equal supply to about a 10 supply lead, and most of that was SCVs.
Yeah, that was very effective. He does have scan and turrets up now, so we probably won't be able to have that level of success again, but damage is done. I mean, damage was clearly done. You have to ask yourself, is it enough damage, considering he did pour a lot, and rates are really expensive, but I think it is. I think that this is a pretty solid win, and especially if he's able to get any value out of these wraiths going forward in the game. Like, I'm assuming right now that the wraiths just immediately go and die and do nothing else, but if they do something else, then this was definitely a really solid move for Skyline. And they have Cloak, so there's a possibility of it.
Really, really fast third for Biggest.
I like that move. Considering how many wraiths he saw Skyline have, there's no way he could have a really solid tank army. So there's not a whole lot of threat, assuming that the turret's good enough, of anything really obstructing that third. So I like the decision to try to get the economy back on track like that.
Of course, Skyline is getting his own third up. SCV's already been transferred over, so not that big of a difference in minerals. In fact, only about 20 minerals have been mined, so really equal third. And it looks like Biggest is trying to come up the narrow ramp, which should be hard. Scan does go down, getting some shots on the race, so Skyline is going to have to try to rely on the race and his tanks. Needs to make sure he gets them in good position. He's got a pretty decent number of tanks, though, and I'm not sure Biggest will be able to come up here, especially on the high ground. And he's got to be really careful with those Goliaths. If he loses them all, the tanks will be absolutely naked, and he appears to not have a scan as he's, well, not scanning. So yeah, Goliaths are taking some damage from these wraiths. Cleaned up one, gonna go for the low health one, nice there. And is down to just one Goliath, and oddly enough, Biggest is not running these tanks, which is just gonna leave them vulnerable. How many of these will he lose to the wraiths? Probably at least one. He doesn't have more reinforcing Goliaths either, so that is really frustrating. He's got to run back to his turrets. But he's getting a bunch of tanks cleaned up right now, and this is going to be great for Skylime, who suddenly has a 40 supply advantage. God, these tanks are just forced to die. That makes like 4 tanks right there. Huge losses for Biggest. This is going to be almost irrecoverable at this point. There's like 1 turret over here in this base. Skylime might still continue to pursue the tanks. I guess he decides that, well, now he's thinking, well, there's only 1 turret. Do I go for it?
Nah, he can't go for it.
Yeah, with only 4 wraiths. If he had like 8 or 9, for sure, but with just 4. But man, almost double supply now for Skyline.
Biggest, you were right. Biggest did run out of scan in that fight, but I only saw him drop 1 scan, which means that he had used the other scan at some point for scouting.
Yeah.
And if he did that, that's a really big mistake giving your opponent. You saw how many cloaked wraiths your opponent had. I mean, if he had 1 more scan, then he would have scanned. He probably would have picked off 2 Goliaths before Skyline reacted and flew them away, and then all of his tanks would still be alive. But now, you're right, this is a really big gap for him to come back from. He's building a lot of starports of his own. 4 starports with cloak researching. When you can't beat them, join them, I guess.
Now that Skyline is moving out with a bunch of tanks, he's going to need to scan those 4 starports though, or else he's going to have his own issues. He's not really making any Goliaths, he's making only tank Vulture, so the race from Biggest could be a bit of an issue, although I don't think any of them are out yet. They're just coming out, so this could be really annoying. And by annoying, I mean deadly. Oh, there's actually Goliaths with his army. This is going to be really difficult for Biggest to deal with. This is hitting at a pretty good timing, and Skyline still has a few of his own wraiths alive. So he's just going to push down and easily deny mining from Biggest's third base. Or he's going to turn and go back home. No, there we go.
Everything Biggest is doing right now is just a well, I hope Skyline doesn't notice X. Well, I hope he doesn't notice my fast third. Well, I hope he doesn't notice my corner expo. Well, I hope he doesn't notice I threw down 5 starports.
And it seems that almost all of that has been noticed.
Yeah.
Alright, so the defending tanks have been taken out. Now Goliath can go ahead and pour in. Here come the cloaked wraiths now from Biggest. Scans need to go down from Skyline, and or his wraiths need to like get back with his army, which at the moment is not happening. And now Biggest moves forward with his tanks. He might actually defend this little attack from Skyline. So it doesn't do as much damage as I thought, but still Skyline at a massive supply advantage.
We have a drop coming into Biggest's base. Looks like 4.
That would take care of these wraiths so easily. But right now it's just kind of some tanks and vultures running around in the base sort of aimlessly. Lots of wraiths there to clean this up. Biggest does remember to cancel his command center so it doesn't die to vultures.
I mean, there's nothing they can do against the wraiths, but they still... I guess I'm not going to be able to do that much damage to the SCVs. Well, some damage. Some damage to the SCVs. A little bit interesting, though. I mean, I guess he missed the fact that the race picked off all of his units outside of the third, because he should have known that there were wraiths.
And of course Skyline has secured a 4th gas now, so has lots of stuff available to him. And has added a bunch of Goliaths to this army. Supply lead isn't quite as insane as it was after Skyline lost all that stuff. It's still a nice one. Whoa! Wraiths flying over Goliath. Scan goes down. Just a little too late. Wraiths are oddly staying and fighting against these Goliaths, which is probably a mistake. And it looks like Skyline is just going forward, sieging everything up, trying to get rid of the Wraiths. Needs to be careful with the Goliaths. I guess he's got so many, it doesn't even matter. So most of Biggus's Wraiths now are going down. There's only about 2 left. Skyline appears not to have a scan, but it doesn't seem to matter. He's easily busting through to this base. Finally, a scan goes down, and the cloak is wearing off. And so Biggus's last Wraiths are dying. And now Skyline is back to that double supply advantage. 3 more cloaked Wraiths do show up. But really, what can 3 cloaked Wraiths do? Another scan goes down. And 2 or 3 of those Goliaths or Wraiths die, and Biggus can say GG. So Skyline puts SAS up 1-0.
Pretty good.
So here we go, game 2 on Coliseum. Spawning bottom left is Teal Protoss, we have Lokdog, and on the right side as the blue Terran we have Boom. So we have blue and teal. And Boom. This Boom is not Rules Boom, it is a different Boom.
Yeah, Russian Terran, been around for a while. Pretty good. The answer to that question is no.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think they can.
No. They're 1-4 right now. If they win both their games, they're 3-4.
And it's pretty unlikely they beat SAS.
No, they're out.
It looks like Boom is going to be walling off, putting that depot there up near the front. Very easy to make a nice tight wall here on Coliseum.
Yeah, so the map is Coliseum, as you said. Coliseum has the 3 expansions really close to the main, but if you looked at the 3 expansions, they're all really big compared to some other maps. Normally the Natural's a really choked off point, or the backdoor third on a map is really closed off. But on this map, there's lots and lots of room on them, which should help out with recalls. It makes it difficult to build if your defense against recalls is just to have a lot of turrets. It makes it really hard to have enough turrets to cover all of it.
Not to mention, if Protoss really wants to go gangbusters, they can just hallucinate, and then it doesn't matter how many turrets you have, even if you go Justice level turrets. Were you there for that game?
I was.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, I was really sad because I wanted to make a Zangief joke about Russian skies being protected. You can only make that joke if it's a Russian Terran and going up against a Protoss makes a ton of turrets. And I had thought of that joke before, and then I remembered it after that game, and I was like, fuck, that is literally going to be the last chance in my life I have to make a joke about that. That being said, we do have a Russian Terran right now. So if he makes a bunch of turrets this game, I'm going to make that joke, even though I already told you it all. Interesting, both players go cross-scout.
They wanted to make an X on the map.
I guess.
It was pre-planned. This is evidence the game is rigged. looks like Boom might be planning to just go ahead and drop his command center here pretty fast. Mineral's getting up there a little bit on the high side. It might drop it before the factory is done. Or will he get the machine shop first? The answer, it looks like CC first. Nope, machine shop first. CC now? CC? Or no CC? There's CC, okay. Cool, first goon on the way from Loke Dog. Of course, with the wall, he can put some goons on the high ground and kind of be annoying, harassing the wall for a little while until siege is done. And Loke Dog puts up his own fairly quick expansion, getting a second gate. I think this is 21 Nexus, to be honest. Certainly looks like it. Yep, now has that goon up high, gonna start harassing the high ground wall. And of course, with the high ground advantage, it makes it a little bit difficult for the tanks on siege to push the goon away. And first SCV comes over now to repair. But of course, with the high ground, Sakwe can be exceptionally annoying, attacking that SCV as it comes to repair.
Yeah. That goon doesn't need to move at all.
No, it doesn't, yeah.
Sit in the same position to be able to hit the SCV when it comes back, not as if it has to micro forward.
There is the tank, but of course with vision and other things, Sakwe can continue to harass. Their second goon is on the way. Let's see, he's got 2 more in tandem. Yeah, he's got 21X going here. So he should have the robo down. Yeah, there it is. Alright, it sounds like siege is done. Is the sieging spot good? Well, obviously can hit the Gregoon there. Gotta be careful though. Alright, there we go. Brings 2 SCVs. That was close to losing his wall, but no, I'll be fine. Gonna reposition the tank though near the wall. You have to be really careful with his sieging. Okay, I guess I like this idea of going to this high ground, but if he goes over here, Sakwe can still just go to the high side and harass. He just needs to take that lower goon and put it on the high ground. Although it seems he is not gonna do that.
That's the second tank out now.
Okay, yeah, with that one he can cover it all.
Still, doesn't lose the goon. Does a lot of damage to the supply depot, which needs to be repaired, and he did manage to pick off 1 SCV. Alright, we have the Robo out from Sakwe, and there's the observatory. So, playing it pretty safe so far. 2 bases, getting obs up.
Now I'm curious to see how Sakwe plays it from here. He's definitely not going the super fast third variety. He is going to get at least 1 or it looks like 2 more gateways. Because one common way I've seen it played is you just get 2 gates and then you get 6 dragoons and then you throw down a third base and throw down about 3 more gateways and then you can take your 4th around, I don't know, 90 to 110 supply while getting your tech and stuff out. You can get really strong economy that way. It's a really like macro-oriented PvT way to play. And it's safe against most stuff other than like really fast like cutting SCVs, skipping like eBay and stuff and throwing down like 4 facts or 3 facts.
I'm kind of curious about this. Boom has built 2 Goliaths, and it already has Goliath range on the way. A 3rd Goliath coming out now. Like, is he really expecting Reavers, I guess? Like, that's gotta be the only reason you make it this fast, right? I mean, he's putting them in position to fend off the drop that is not coming.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting he's getting range. Yeah, he's probably just made him in case there was Reaver drop.
Well, he doesn't have scan, so I guess he couldn't know. But man, that just seems so specific. It seems like he lost to a Protoss on this map using Reavers, and he was like, fuck it, we're not doing that again.
Yeah, this is like what Terrans did to counter when Protoss was doing, like when Rax Expand was super popular for a while, and Protoss was starting to go a 1-gate Reaver double expo. That was like the Terrans started making a few Goliaths. That's what Fantasy did in the Fantasy Jongbi finals a couple times. I think the first one. and he did a pretty good job of it. Or maybe that was Stork, I don't know. But there were a couple games where Fantasy just made a couple quick Goliaths, and that really made it hard for the Reaver to do anything. And now it looks like Dasakwe is going to move on the high ground and make it a pain in the butt for Boom to get up there and actually secure his third base. And Boom is just like super defensive. Like he still hasn't lifted his wall. He's just like behind there like, you will not come in here and mess with me.
So, first Arbiter's on the way, and the Nexus for Dasakwe, a little bit over halfway done now.
King Speed has an Arbiter on the way, and here we go. Tanks sieging up, Goons will back up, has the barracks there to spot, which is nice. Doesn't have to worry about high ground getting super abused that way. And where is that Tribunal? Is it at third? Oh, that cannon slightly annoys his probes? Hard to tell. I can't tell if it slightly manners the probes or if it like makes them more efficient. I think they have to kind of go around it. He knows, yeah, he definitely knows 12 next. That's for sure. Where is the freaking Arbiter Tribunal? I'm like not able to see it. Oh, it's up here. Okay, he's getting stasis. Oh, and the command center! Ah! It's gonna barely make it away, but... Okay, more than barely. But still, it's getting really delayed. So Dasakwe doing a fine job of that. Boom is a little bit nervous to go on the high ground. Whoa! Dasakwe suddenly moves forward with Goons, although thankfully only loses one. But does have a lot of tank shots go off on some others.
Okay.
And of course, Dasakwe 2 base arbs. Now it's gotten his third, though, up and running. And is getting his +1 weapon. First Arbiter is going to finish right now at about 10-20. I was watching some ridiculous game, Sock against Pusan, where Pusan, I don't know what he did. He must have just gone like straight for Arbiters as fast as possible, but he had his first Arbiter out at like 750 on the game clock, which is just ridiculously fast. Boom actually is ahead in supply, which is a little bit of a concern. Although Dasakwe does have tech out, he'll have like at least 2 Arbiters before Boom does anything, and that's if Boom did some weird... I mean, he's got enough factories that he could try to attack. I don't think he intends to do that. Although maybe he does. I don't know. He's got everything kind of unsieged. Fourth going up for Dasakwe.
It looks like Dasakwe is just waiting for recall. Recall's about halfway done. A little bit short of halfway now.
So Boom is going to push. Alright, let's see how Dasakwe handles this. He's got 1 Arbiter. He'll have a second here soon. Where is said 1 Arbiter? There it is, coming out to meet. It has enough energy for stasis. So if he gets him like this, he could stasis 8 tanks right now. 7 tanks. I can't even tell how many tanks that is there in that cluster. That is really scary. So I don't like that Boom is not being careful.
And
Boom's still way ahead supply though. Although army doesn't look that big. Like Dasakwe's army looks okay. And he is running in here. Let's see if he gets the money stasis. Those tanks are so clustered. Where is the Arbiter though? Okay, Dasakwe's not going to run in now, realizing all the tanks are sieged up. Transfer some probes off to get that 4th base running. Maybe he's going to go recall, I don't know.
Scan is left. There's 2 scans left.
Oh, that's scary. That's scary too.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the game plan. Like from the beginning, to just wait for recall, because attacking the Terran head-on this map is really difficult, and actually we're going in for it now. Just barely has 150 energy flying over the turrets, and
what the fuck? That was not what he wanted. Holy shit. Alright, I see why I said he played bad. That was a Jaehoon recall there. That's going to do next to nothing. So now he's got this big scary army sitting outside of his natural. He still has that one... Oh, I thought he had 1 Arbiter with like 150 energy. But now he's trying to come at this from both sides. Lots of tanks though, and it looks like this is kind of a favorable fight here. Dasakwe's Zealots are all in a narrow area fighting the Vultures, whereas the Goons are trying to come in and fight the tanks, and this is going to end up being Not a very good engagement for him at all. Supply plummeting right now for Desakwe, and Boom getting way ahead. Although DTs might just save the day. How many scanners does he have? Well, he's got 2 scans there. He does not have scans elsewhere, though. So if he could use up enough scans, he actually could get rid of this with just the DT.
It's fine.
But not quite. Does he have another DT on the way? He might just be able to keep doing this.
That was some next level information mind games there. Like, yo, I could have ended the game right now with this recall. The army's completely out of position. But I didn't. Just letting you know. Okay.
Oh, the Arbiter dies, though. That was a bit unfortunate. I think he's just trying to abuse the cloak from the Arbiter here until the scans run out. But I don't know if he's quite going to be able to do it. Easiest way to do that is usually just to take 1 or 2 Zealots and keep running them down the ramp onto the tanks and just force the scans. Goons are a little bit clunkier. Unfortunately for Desakwe, Boom is way ahead in supply and has a lot of factories up now. I mean, Desakwe's gateway count is alright as well, but... And now he's going to move around the outside, but man, losing a lot of Zealots there, or a lot of Zealots taking mine damage. And now it looks like Boom is finally pushing up, and he's going to take out Desakwe's bottom base here, natural 3rd expansion, and put Desakwe onto just 3 bases.
Yeah, this is not going super well. I don't think the mine at the top.
Oh my god, huge mine though, killing off like 8 vultures and 2 Goliaths or something.
The mine in the top left does reveal that Desakwe is expanding up there, and once Boom goes to clear out that expansion, he'll find the other
I'm
expansion.
not convinced that Nexus is centered. It seems like it could be up 1 and right 1. Definitely up 1? I don't know. Maybe it just looks
It definitely can't be over right 1. I don't think it can be up. Maybe it could be up 1.
And here comes Boom. This is a pretty big army, and oh man, Desakwe is really clustered. He gets off a pretty good stasis, but man, is he clustered up. And I just don't know if there's enough units here from Desakwe. It's not really looking like it. It looks like Boom might just roll through right here. Yeah, there's not enough stuff here from Desakwe. At least not at the moment. Although Boom doesn't have a ton of units for, well, he's down to 137 supply. But Desakwe also has really, really low unit count. Things looking a bit grim on Desakwe's front.
That being said, it is taking Boom a long time to move forward. I mean, he really hasn't made a whole lot of progress so far, considering the victories he's had. And Desakwe is on 4 bases compared to 3, so it's not completely over.
Yeah, although the position for Boom is really good. He's got Desakwe pretty choked off now. It's going to be really hard to have any sort of effective engagement. Perhaps he can sit in base and start recalling, but that's about it. And at this point, Boom's starting to split some of his units up to go kill Desakwe's top bases, making a few cliff cannons, adding gateways there, but it's just not enough gateways fast enough, I fear.
Nah, he's screwed.
Yeah, honestly, I really think, not that he would have necessarily known it at the time, but in hindsight from watching the game, if he would have just stasis 8 of those tanks, I'm pretty sure he could have just A-moved the army and rolled it. Although at the same time, had that been a bigger, like, normal recall, I think that could have been pretty problematic too, as Boom had all of his units across the map. And now Desakwe losing probes at his 4th base. He's going to try to take his army out, maybe around the bottom side. Yeah, it looks like he's run a few zealots there to clear out mines. Possibly he's going to fully counterattack, but certainly going to come out of the bottom side here.
He's still building cannons over at his top left, so he thinks maybe somehow he can hold out against the siege tanks. It's going to take an awful lot of cannons to stop siege tanks. Like infinite cannons to stop siege tanks. And here comes the attack, coming just straight through the front. The Arbiter backs away.
Actually, is this going to be enough to break through? Maybe, although there's still a lot of tanks, but it looks like just enough units here. And Desakwe is actually going to break through, although he still has this issue of losing stuff at the front. But pretty big win there from Desakwe to break out. Still way down in supply, though. And Boom is going to be expanding to a 4th base location. Unfortunately, without high ground, too, it's going to be really difficult for Desakwe to hold on to this top left base unless he can suddenly produce enough army to get it back. But I don't think he can off one gateway. He's trying to add cannons and stuff to stay alive. And it really seems like Boom is slowing down in production, and Desakwe catching up in supply. Coming up here to deny this top expo. It is not going to finish, is it? It's going to be close, but I don't think it's quite going to happen. And he's going to end up having to cancel this, as the SCV should be picked off here in a second. I don't think the CC will even get the chance to finish. He is not setting up units to defend it, and at the same time, Boom is trying to push in here, but Desakwe is holding on, still mining a little bit from that base, and down goes the command center. It's going to have to be canceled here at some point, and now Desakwe is sending in a bunch of zealots here to try to get rid of these back tanks. He's got to be careful with them, though. He's losing a lot of them to the mines. If he saves this base, though, Desakwe will suddenly be right back into the game. A few reinforcing vultures coming, but not enough. Where is Biggest' macro gone? Or not Biggest, Boom's macro. I guess it's gone because he's just about mined out, and it looks like Desakwe is going to have enough units here. He's going to hold off, and it is now Desakwe in control of this game. And Boom is going to lose because of basically drying up.
Okay.
Wow. That changed pretty quickly.
Never underestimate the Croatian mind games.
Now, well, Boom is going to attack here down at Desakwe's bottom base, but Desakwe's still got a lot of mining left. D-Matrix going up on the front tank, but there's going to be a lot of stasis. I think he can just stasis this and wait if he wants to. Or not drop any stasis because he doesn't have enough energy to stasis, yeah. Gotta be careful with those Arbiters trying to abuse Cloak to get rid of some of these tanks. He does pick off that tank, so no more tanks over there now. And army also coming from the backside now to be able to flank this. And the last bit of mining now for Boom is over there at the 3rd base. Whoa! Pretty big mine goes off though. These goons are probably just gonna walk into mines. Oh shit. Supplies dead equal, but it is 2.5 base mining for Desakwe against just 1 base mining from Boom.
I'm kind of surprised Boom set up the hidden base over on the left side. That's ambitious to say the least.
Especially since at some point Desakwe will probably just decide he wants that base. Once he stabilizes here, he'll probably be like, well, I want that base too, and then he'll just have to leave.
Yeah. I'm actually interested if he starts populating. Oh, he is. Okay. I was gonna say, like, I don't even know if Boom thought that base was gonna go up. Like, why? Alright. You know what? Big risks time.
Stasis goes down, another great stasis. I don't know if Desakwe can actually get up here through this ramp. He throws down another stasis. He stasis stalled the tanks but 1. He can push his way up even with just Dragoons. 1 tank isn't enough. In fact, 1 tank isn't even firing. Although, well, he's gotta sort of get up the ramp. And it looks like most of the vultures now are dying. Just needs to make it up here before the stasis ends. Supply advantage now about 50 for Desakwe, and Boom is really close to dry. Yeah, scuttling some goons over there to pick off that tank. Should get 1 more shot, and down it goes. Now he just has to camp the stasis stuff. Boom is trying to reinforce with 2 tanks. How will the timing going to be relative to the unstasis? He needs to move over the... Okay, he's got it. He's got it. So yeah, that command center is pretty doomed. And the vessel... Oh! Puts on a nice D-Matrix. Trying to buy time for his 2 tanks. But unable to do it. Now the vessel. Snipe the vessel. There we go. Now going to walk on top of the tanks. Mines! Pretty good mine drag. SCV's coming over here. Oh, is he going to get the tank? Not quite. Actually, the tank can't fight. So it's a Goliath racing to kill a goon trying to kill a tank, but the goon wins the fight. But now Desakwe is rolling out with like a giant-ass army, and Boom has like 4 vultures and a tank. and not a completed command center. So here comes Tasakwe charging in, bunch of goons, bunch of zealots, bunch of everything. And just way too many units right now for Boom to deal with. And I think he's going to have to tap out here in a sec. Zealots doing a little mine clearing, getting rid of most everything, and still tons of zealots left in this army. So just down to just this one tank holding on. He's trying to put up turrets, but just a lot of units. And GG, Sass takes a 2-0 lead? Yeah, 2-0 lead.
He did at the very end find the hidden base on the left side.
That was a weird game. That was a weird game. It just seemed like Biggest was like, or not Biggest, I keep calling Biggest. Boom was like rolling and just gonna roll over to Sakwe, and then all of a sudden his production just like dried up. But he hadn't been on the map that long, it didn't feel like, so I don't know why his minerals, maybe it was just how long his third got delayed that allowed his minerals to mine out that fast, because it didn't feel like, usually it feels like Terran gets a little more time at full production before they run out of steam, but he just like ran out of steam really fast. And as far as Jaehoon recalls, yes, he knows how to recall as well as anyone in the world. He's also probably my favorite Protoss player. But doesn't change the fact that he is known for a particular set of really bad recalls. Alright, so set 3 is in limbo. So we're going to go on to set 4. And yeah, so this is going to be an Overwatch game. Catspaw, he didn't stop his macro, it ran out. He dried up on minerals. But yeah, it felt like he just stopped macroing. But he just, the way the game worked out, he ran out of minerals. Like if he would have, I think it was because his third got pretty delayed. So he mined out in his main and natural really fast and wasn't able to continue macroing. Alright, so spawning top position as our brown Protoss, we have our Tannis, and in the bottom right hand position as our purple Protoss, we have Draw. So, Draw and our Tannis. Not the Sockwave, not the Sockwave. There we go. That's right.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Draw's the thing about we played before, but I didn't see exactly what was said.
He was asking if they had played before because Draw did not remember that Imba lag.
Oh.
We're typing the same thing. Alright.
Dara has the same voice as Nina Zerg? No. No. Definitely not. Alright, so Dra drops the gateway since they're about to scout. Artanis does the same. And gateway timing's basically the same.
Mirror so far. A little faster gas for Artanis for whatever reason.
I really hope this Tianjai guy is joking saying Draw has the same voice as Nina Zerg. That's like, there couldn't be two more different sounding voices in the world.
Really?
Like, there's like no similarity. It's like saying a flute sounds like, I don't know, a cello or something. There's like nothing that's similar about them. Both players grabbing core and zealots for either. Yeah, zealot for Artanis, no zealot for Draw. Although core timing is pretty similar.
one of them build a zealot?
Yeah, Artanis built a Zealot, but Draw did not build
There
a
it
Zealot.
is.
Draw went straight for Goon. Someone's saying there's a best of 21 Age of Empires 2 series. That would be a very long series. Because it seems like Age of Empire games last for like an hour or more.
I have not watched Age of Empires.
I've watched it once or twice since there's this guy that streams, like, Dream or something is his name, but he streams Age of Empires.
I think I've seen that stream a couple of times before. Because I've seen it on Twitch and I'm like, huh, Age of Empires, that's interesting. And then I click on it and watch it for like 15 seconds. It's like, okay, I'm not interested enough to invest the time to figure out what the hell's going on here. I'm out. Alright, so, Draw, oh, that's really unfortunate. Draw has a fast Citadel, but they're, excuse me, but the stuff from Artanis saw it. And there's a proxy pylon. Alright.
Draw loves to build pylons in the map. I would
Is,
venture to guess it's a spotting pylon, but we'll see.
actually, it might be.
Draw really likes to put spotting pylons. Yeah, there's the Templar Archives. And Draw moving up with a few goons, but Artanis has, well, 2 goons and a Zealot against 2 goons, so yeah, Artanis will be fine. 3rd goon out now. Draw will probably just do the poke in with 1 goon, take a look. And as long as you're careful, you don't lose anything. Oh, here comes the probe into the waiting clutches of the Dragoons. No reaction, so GG probe. And Draw is doing the 1-gate version here of DT Expand, getting the DT out very fast. Will there be a forge there? Is the forge? DT on the way?
Artanis is going to try to cross the bridge here, and...
Oh, did Draw move away in time? It looks like he might just get away. Won't lose a goon. I mean, goons can get away from other goons because they have the same speed and goon has to stop for its attack animation. But if you react too late, the chase is good enough that you can still snipe off most of the goons. Probe makes it in though for Draw, so he sees everything. Sees the gateway count, sees the support bay building, sees the observatory, and of course 1 obs is on the way right now. Draw's gonna have to make, I think, a cannon or 2 to not die. And Draw going immediately up to 4 gateways. Where's the DT? Oh, it's
on the way.
Across the map. Just kill the probe.
Observer's out, though. So, he probably won't even go in. Yeah, he's sitting on the other side. He had the probe already see that there was an observatory just finishing, so he knows the observer should be out. And I guess he could, like, roll the dice and assume Artanis was really stupid and sent the first observer directly to the base, but... has too much respect for his opponent. I can assume that. Correct assumption. Probably would have lost the DT. Anyway. There was a forge, right? You said there was a forge.
Yeah, Draw has a forge. He actually looks like he might have canceled it. He was building it, but he canceled it. He put it right next to his archives, but he might have canceled it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And Tupac, it is actually 2-0 because this is the 3rd set for casting purposes. The actual 3rd set has not been submitted yet.
And we have another scouting pylon from Draw. Actually, 2 more scouting pylons from Draw. I know that Draw likes his scouting pylons, and I've certainly seen him build it before, but I'm not sure I've seen him build this many, or this blatant of ones. Usually they're more like the first one he built, so they're kind of hidden. Not... literally not surrounded by anything out in the middle. Interesting.
Oh, Draw's DT does go down. And a shuttle on the way now, so it looks like Artanis is going to come attack with one Reaver. Draw has a slight supply advantage though, and he is starting to get a decent goon count of his own out. Is up to 5 gateways now, macroing just a bunch of Dragoons.
He has a small supply advantage, but all that supply is in probes right now, so it's not going to help him for this fight.
Oh my god, the shuttle!
The Reaver!
Draw sword goes for the snipe, doesn't get it though! So that's fairly large losses for Draw right now. He's going to have to move up the high ground. Does a good job of that. But to not get the Reaver there means that Draw took a lot of Dragoon hits from Artanis' own Dragoons. So now he's got to move back and defend.
Okay, he averted disaster there. Oh, that was really close to losing the shuttle and then losing the Reaver. But yeah, this is looking a little bit dangerous for Draw right now. He does have 13 supply lead, but as I said, it's 13 supply in probes. The more important thing is the Reaver right now. So, let's see what kind of micro we got. He's going in, but the Reaver's not there, so he's going to take a lot of shots before the Reaver is really getting anything going. Draw trying to move into position. Doesn't get the shot off with the Reaver.
Not going off well for Draw right now. And pretty good Reaver shots here from Artanis. I don't know if Draw's going to have enough stuff. Although Draw still has a supply lead. He's got a lot of Zealots out here. Looks like the goon count roughly equal. The Zealots will die pretty fast, but Draw's got to keep moving back. And the question is, does he have enough macro that his reinforcements will eventually allow him to survive this? I don't know. He definitely is going to need to kill the Reaver at some point. But ominously, that shuttle is still alive, and now Draw is moving onto the high ground, which is a good place to be. Some Slowets coming in here, but Slowets not that strong. Probes have to run away now from the Reaver, and he is gradually whittling down the goons, and reinforcements for Artanis, I don't know where the hell they are. There's like no reinforcements, so I think Draw is eventually going to defend this. Since Artanis only has 2 gateways. Oh, he's only just now getting his Expo. Okay, so yeah, Draw will clean this up eventually, but the Reaver is still a problem. 5 gates to should eventually allow this to be defended, although the supplies are beginning to even. Draw did save a lot of his probes though, but Artanis has done a nice job evening out the army. Now the big question here is, well, it looks like Draw is going to lose the Nexus, so that's going to end up being okay for Artanis.
Now he's just attacking buildings with the Reaver. I don't know if it's relevant, but he's spent like 250 minerals in Scarabs now.
Whoa, he takes the Reaver and flies away? Or is he going to turn around and harass? And Draw's going to move out. Will he notice the harass? This is actually really important. It's going to allow Draw to easily kill these Dragoons off. He's going to have to move back, but there is this harass threat now. And Draw is going to need to react quickly, otherwise he could lose a tremendous number of probes. Reactions are good, but the shuttle is committed to this. Now dead. This Reaver Scarab goes off. It will dud out, unfortunately, for him. So that turns out decently okay for Draw in the end. That could have been disastrous. A massive Scarab. But that'll be interesting to see. Artanis does have now a Nexus. Draw not having a Nexus, but if we look at Minerals Mined, 1200... It'll probably be relatively equal in terms of minerals mined by the time Draw's Nexus comes up. So we'll just have to see where it is with army size. I mean, looking at it right now, I could see this game stabilizing and being somewhat even. It looks like it'll be a slight advantage for Artanis, but it could be somewhat even by the time everything stabilizes out. Because Draw did save all his probes.
Yeah, you're right. He evacuated them pretty quickly when the army was coming into the natural. If he had lost more probes there, then this would be a really big advantage for Artanis. But as you said, I still think it's decently on Artanis' favor for no other reason than because he has Reavers. And I think that right now at this stage of the game, it's more relevant than the DT and the High Templar that Draw has. Storm is getting pretty close to being finished here, so the High Templar will be able to do something.
Alright, so now the Nexus is going to come back online for Draw, and it's going to stabilize. We'll see what kind of spot. Draw still doesn't have obs out. Draw is actually taking a 3rd base, which feels to me like that's meant to be a little bit of hidden base.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure he can totally hold on to that if Artanis knows about it.
He can't. I think Draw wants to play catch-up, but he hasn't scouted for a while, so I don't think he realizes how late Artanis' natural was. I'm not sure if he would feel it necessary to take that risk if he knew. how long Artanis had been mining from the natural.
This is really funny because in terms of minerals mined, this game is technically dead even. So let's take a look at army. Right now, Draw has about a control group of Zealots and Goons and a few Templar. And I see... pretty similar. This game is pretty damn even right now.
Yep. It's very possible that the game hinges on the hidden base Draw took. If Artanis doesn't discover it, I mean, he's not making a whole lot of progress to taking his own third. I mean, he's kind of starting to move in that direction, I guess. I built a pylon there. But Draws will have been up for so much longer, he's populating it now. So
right,
if
so
it doesn't
Artanis
get
is moving out.
built,
Now Artanis does have the Reavers that Draw doesn't have, which will make things a bit interesting here. A lot of this will depend on if Draw gets good storms.
does have 3 storms available.
Actually,
One
Draw's
high
army that's on top
two.
of this cliff seems pretty small. I feel like... Where is the rest of it? He had more than that. He's got some of it as natural. He is not going to be able to hold the high ground, I don't think, here. He doesn't have his Templar, doesn't have his Storm. He's going forward, trying to pick off a Reaver, spreading out his Goons, trying to get both of them. He's going to get one and move away, but he takes a lot of damage in the process. And now I'm a bit worried from him. He does have all these units and these Templar in the natural. But he definitely has to hold here, and that might be a task, especially with one Reaver still alive. He is kind of retreating here. Going to go into his natural to try to defend this, throwing up some pylons here, and just going to do whatever he can to defend. Knowing he has a hidden base. Now he's got the storms. He can likely use those to get rid of the Reaver, but he needs to use them. First storm goes off. Artanis does a nice job moving out of the way of it, and I'm just not sure there's enough here from Draw, but that is a huge storm going off on all these Goons, really softening them up. Goes off, and these storms have been really good, but is it enough? I'm not sure. A lot of the Zealots is waiting there. Another storm goes down, killing off a lot of the Dragoons. But the Reaver still remains, and that is a lot of units in the natural. Another storm goes down, the Reaver will get cleaned up, but DT comes out now. Is there an OBS here? And another storm goes down. It'll actually probably kill his own DT, though. Not quite. And it looks like Draw might just be able to hold with the power of storms. Although Artanis is going to have plenty of reinforcements here. Another storm goes down, and another storm basically stacked, though. Draw with just too many storms, it looks like. He's going to hold here, and now his third base eco is starting to kick in. I think he's going to be able to drive back Artanis, and he'll be in a good spot.
And at the start of that fight, I was clicking all of Draw's High Templar, and I saw they all didn't have enough energy for Storm, because they were all just freshly made, and I thought he needs to make them into Archons right now to have a chance of defending. But he didn't. So there was like weird separation between his Storms, and I think that was just him cycling through the Templar, figuring out which one now has enough energy to get the shot off. And it's better than it worked better than if he had Archons there. So good decision making by Draw to keep him as High Templar, because God, that was just an insane barrage of storm, to keep him alive in this game.
Was also really patient. You see how he didn't engage there. He kind of pulled back into his natural, even at the point of not letting some Zealots fight when everything was fighting for Artanis. And then he just kind of patiently waited to get enough storms and defended that almost purely with storm.
And, well, Artanis is now finally taking a third. But Draw has been mining off of a third for so long.
And Draw's taking a fourth.
Yeah, I think it's... I think that's just the key to the game. Draw's going to have that expo. Draw's going to be able to make a bigger army. And he already has his Templar tech up. And as the game goes later and later, the Templar tech becomes more and more relevant, while the Reaver tech becomes less and less.
Both are at 1-1 upgrade, though Artanis has a little bit faster second attack upgrade. Draw getting a cannon in his main, despite the fact that he's down to like 100 minerals or less in his main base.
Double Forge is working for Draw. He's at 1-0 now, but will relatively soon be at 2-1. I'd be surprised if Artanis had a... Oh, he does have a Forge. It's about halfway to getting him +1. No, it's halfway to getting him to +2. Okay. So he's not that far behind.
So still 7 gates against 6 gates, but Draw suddenly 40-50 supply ahead.
Alright. So, how many Templar does he have in this army? 1, 2? Wow, just 2 Templar? Interesting. There's
no amulet, so can only have 2 storms on each Templar.
2 back home. Alright. Well, surprisingly little storm with that army, but other than that, it's just a big, scary force. How close is he to getting the 2 attack done? Nah, he's not close to getting the 2 attack done. And he's going to be fighting up here. There's only 1 Reaver in the shuttle. Artanis has a bunch of Templar of his own. Does he have Storm researched is what I'm wondering. Guess we're about to find out. Nope.
Oh, coming off the high ground. I think Brock could actually engage if he wants to, but it seems he is not ready to. And will pull back.
I thought he was going to, too.
Catspaw, I think people just find it's too APM intensive to have to worry about feedbacking and storming as well, but you see it occasionally in pro games. Like, I remember there's 1 or 2 games where Violet has done it. Bisu did it actually fairly recently in a SPL game, SOSPA SPL game, stuff like that. But I think it's the same issue why Queens weren't used for so long, just because people thought it was too APM intensive.
I mean, even less so than... I think they're even less relevant than Queens. Because it's... Like, looking at their spells, you could use them for Maelstrom, I guess. That'd be really hard to do, though. And the army tends to be spread out enough that it's not super relevant. You could use it for Mind Control, but Mind Control is bad. It's really for the feedback, and why would you feedback a High Templar when you could just storm it? Here comes the big attack, and wow, Artanis is just getting up in there, rushing the high ground.
Yeah, I think
Storms on both sides.
too much army though, and Artanis is also fighting from low ground to high, and Draw is actually pulling back, even though he's absolutely raping and annihilating this fight. So suddenly Artanis has nothing, and Draw has 170 supply, and Artanis is like, oh, well, that didn't go as well as I hoped.
Artanis manned up way too hard there. Like, he went in balls deep. Like, nope, we can't leave. We're too deep. We can't retreat. Everybody's too close in. We'll all die if we retreat. Just gotta fight. And it didn't work out so good. And
yeah, generally the idea with the Archons is they have good range, so you just feedback the Templar before the fight. So why not... Why feedback the Templar instead of storm them? Because storm them, they can still get their own storms off. If you feedback them, they just don't exist when you fight the battle. So that's the advantage to that.
Like, theoretically, but you're spending a lot less for a High Templar with a spell that will kill lots and lots of shit with the Storm, compared to kill one thing if you are microing properly and have the vision and have all the foresight to do it. Like, at least the Queens fill a role that no other Zerg unit can fill. Like, the Dark Archon, the role the Dark Archon can do can be filled by a High Templar. In some ways better, in some ways worse, but it's still the same thing.
And Draw quite clearly has the game, and Artanis forced to say GG, and Draw will put Sass up with a 3-0 advantage. Now do we have the actual third set? It seems we do not. So I guess we'll go and see what set 5 is. It's going to be a Tau Cross game. So if it's some random game, then we'll know who won the third game. If not...
I guess.
www/1.
I mean, either way, whether it's a joke game or not, we know the results, right?
Well, no, because, well, yeah. I mean, in one way or the other. It just means either the game was won or it was a 3-1 going further.
Yeah.
PvZ, I see people get Dark Archon a lot, especially with Muta, but what do we have here? We have, looks like a real game. So we're going to have Vorti against Ace. This should be a pretty interesting game. So we have brown and green Ace and Vorti. Alright, so Ace is really strong. One of the better players in the scene, especially when he's practicing like ISL1, ISL2, he was real strong. And Vorti, I can never remember if he's like B+ or A-, but I would say Ace is probably slightly the stronger player.
It depends on activity. I would think that. I mean, if Ace is at his prime, then he's advantage here, but he hasn't been in his prime for a while. I would hazard to say. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. For whatever reason, I thought 40 was Zerg.
Yeah, I think he is. Maybe he plays TVZ though.
I guess? I don't remember him being a race picker.
Oh, Sakurai saying Vorti thinks only is like C plus B minus. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's lower rank. He plays more 2v2 than anything else. Or he got a higher rank in 2v2 than anything else. Sorry, I didn't know he played TVZ. I'm so fixed on that. Alright. Interesting. I guess I forgot. So, yeah. I think it's a matter of coming down to activity. Ace should be the favorite if he was at his prime, but he hasn't been in his prime for a while. That's what I was trying to say. So, building the barracks, not going to be setting up the wall. And Ace already has the hatchery and the spawning pool down, so nice standard 12 hatch. Okay. So instead of building a wall of buildings, he's going to use a couple of SCVs to block.
First, I thought they were attacking each other. But they're just repairing each other. I saw the cutter going off. I was like, what the hell? It's like he's trying to get SCV double kill.
Okay, that's something that's bothered me. Like, the repair animation is the same as the attack animation, right? So, if you think about it in context, they're basically doing the same thing. Why can SCVs repair battle cruisers, but they can't attack mutalisks? That's what I want to know. Like, SCVs should be able to attack mutalisks.
So Vorti throws down a depot for unknown reasons. And forgets to cancel it, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, he definitely forgot to cancel it. It had less than 100 minerals. So that was pretty bad. So Vorti basically just like, here, have a 300 minerals. I don't need it. And he responds with, I'm not going to try to pronounce this because let's make myself look retarded. I don't even know what language it is. Cat's Paw Posit said the reason is because the SCVs are loaded to the battlecruisers to repair them, but I'm sort of calling bullshit here because I've never seen the SCVs be loaded into the battlecruiser.
Okay, then fine. Then instead of battlecruiser, then Wraith, where there's clearly not enough room to be loading on SCVs. Aha.
I always forgot how racist StarCraft was though. Like if you click on the SCVs, they're the only black unit. And if you click on them, they literally complain the entire time about how, like, I don't want to do this, and they say some other things about, like, how much this job sucks and stuff like that.
Okay, I hear that the SCV is black. I'm not sold the SCV is black.
Are you kidding me?
Like,
have you ever seen big SCVs, dude? With big Afro Man? Like, look at this guy, he's Afro Man.
He's Afro? What? He doesn't have an Afro, he's like,
no, Afro like African.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Like, there's clearly some weird lighting going on, so it's hard to tell. And if you were to tell me, yeah, inside of an SCV is really fucking dirty, it's like, maybe that's it.
He's just a dirty white boy.
Like, I'm not sold. I'm not sold he's black. I've heard a lot of people say he's black. Common sense is that he's black. I'm not sold.
Someone's saying firebats are black. I'll have to wait and see if there's a firebat made in this game. We'll evaluate it.
That's definitely a unit that could just be dirty. From, like, all the ashes that firebats produce. Like,
but it's supposed to be inside a suit.
but he has the visor up. Alright, we haven't been paying attention to this at all.
I've been opting it.
He's going for
lurker,
fast
lurker
lurkers.
on the way,
Yeah,
some Hydra
that's
out. 2 hatch lurker, but oh no, 3 hatch lurker. Whoops. Oh, and Spire. What? Spire on the way, I guess. Whatever.
That's a lot of Marines without any medics.
It's chat.
Alright, he's finally making medics now. But that's a lot of Marines to be making before your first medic. Like 2 control groups? Not quite 2 control groups. Control group and a half. Okay. Duran was clearly black. Like, that one's unarguable. But
What if he was just dirty too?
that doesn't make sense. Like, it makes sense for an
If
SUV
that's
to
true, if that's true, then the game is also racist because it means there's only white people in the future.
You know what? What if I told you that the dude in the missile turret's black?
I didn't even notice there was a dude in the missile turret.
There's totally a dude in the missile turret. Okay, like, look at the little picture of the missile turret that's building. He's green and in the center. It's easier to tell on a missile turret that's building because then there are different colors, but there's totally a little dude in the missile turret.
Alright, so we got 4 racks, factory. Got some Marines coming out. +1 should be done roughly by the time the Terran army gets down toward the Zerg base. Actually, whoa, we got a massive counterattack though. 4 lurkers, bunkers are surrounded and immediately down, and it appears there's no response. There are 2 sunken colonies up here. Will it be enough for Vorty to break? He's got to deal with attacks in 2 areas. Lots of lings dying to the Marines. Lurkers now burrowing, trying to get position on the barracks. If they do, SCVs are pulled, but that is not the right decision against lurkers. They are annihilated, but at the same time, the Terran is trying to break through. 2 lurkers burrowing. It's going to be too much. I don't think Vorty can multitask in 2 places at once. He's losing most of his units. He will not be able to break in here. And now Ace has position over the barracks. Supplies are rapidly changing. Ace taking a double supply advantage now as Vorty's attack is crushed. Unable to handle the intense multitask in 2 places. And considering he's just lost his entire army, I think there's nothing he can do. GG. So Ace, I'm going to assume it's 3-2 is the score. And we are headed to a set 6. Which I think I have. I think someone sent it to me. Let me double check. No, but I can save it right now. STL set 6.
So I guess that means the score's 2-1, or sorry, 3-2. 3-2.
We're assuming it's 3-2. Alright, so spawning, we have Zaraki against Games. Zaraki, the yellow Zerg, in the top, and Games is the, teal Zerg in the bottom position. So Games around B+, A-, Zaraki also A-. So we'll have to see how these players fare. You have what? So can Zaraki close it out for Sass here?
Yep.
Lancer, the MCA Lancer.
Players with overlords, but players not going too fast again. Oh, never mind. There's an over. Oh no, it's not. Take it back.
It's an extractor trick.
Oh.
And a 12 something from Zaraki.
He doesn't have an S. He doesn't have a drone moving into position. So
It's gonna be
we'll have
12. No, it can't be 12 from games. Overlord trick doesn't make sense. 10. Oh, it's 10 hatch from games. All right, so games is gonna do 10 hatch and 12 pull from Zaraki. So probably Ling aggression here from games, and Zaraki is gonna be going 12 pool gas. Okay. Me know this build from Zaraki.
Yeah, kind of odd. Alright, I guess... Well, he's throwing down the hatchery now, so the gas is just going to be a little bit faster. So we'll have needlisks out a little bit faster. Spawning pool done for Zaraki. First lings are coming out. Games spawning pool is not far behind. So, because Zaraki did decide to go for the Expo, and instead of in-base 12 hatch, he should have a little bit of an advantage over Games here. I mean, Games is going to have a little bit of extra larva a little bit faster, but he's certainly in no position to overwhelm Zaraki with early legs, so...
Zaraki trying to sneak in a lane here, but Games easily denies that. And Games actually not playing this as Ling Line, getting Lair and whatnot. Then again, he always goes like 10 hatch. I remember a discussion about this from a week or two ago. It's just kind of the Games thing to do.
It's a weird old school. Sorry.
So Zaraki coming in here with a Ling attack. Picks up a drone. Cool. Cool, trying to run in. Not quite making it. Games has the better arc and more Lings, although Zaraki is somehow winning the fight. That's really weird. This is really weird. But there will be enough well, actually, Zaraki's going to pour in some Lings of his own. But I think Games has more Lings. Yeah, definitely Games has more Lings now. I don't understand how Zaraki won that fight. That was so weird. Trying to pick up another drone. Second drone kill of the game. Going for a third. Always hard to get those gas ones as they're slippery. Oh, they went up high. I like lost sight of them. Where'd they go? Drone! Nope, no more drone. Oh, no, he did get another drone. So 3 drone kills total for Zaraki. Also, the supply is lying to me. The unit counting station says 17, but Zaraki has 20. So does Games. Unit counting station is full of crap.
The reason Zaraki was able to win that fight was that the Zergling speed actually makes them just fight better, even if it's not a matter of moving them into position. They still just attack faster when they have the speed upgrade, like slightly faster, and they can get into position to attack slightly faster. So it's still, even if you're just A move versus A move, the speed matters.
They might get into position faster. I don't think they attack faster though.
It's small.
Alright, so here we go. But Zaraki doesn't have enough this time. Games definitely, well, I think has more. I guess I shouldn't say definitely. But it looks like he's got enough. But the first engagement is a little bit awkward. Zaraki's looking fairly nice with his Ling Maker, but way too many Lings here now for Games. Now it is Zaraki's turn to turn tail and run back home.
There's already a sunken built at Zaraki's base, and ooh, sneaking by 3 Lings? Oh, I thought he was going to go for the counterattack, but they just turn around. Oh, that's a wasted backstab opportunity. There were no Lings for Games out.
Zaraki actually is so concerned about this. We have got drones off the line, and it is a lot of Lings for Games now. Trying to get the surround off, and oh my god, this is getting through this really easily. Is Zaraki going to have enough? No, there's a lot of riot Lings from Games. The sunken is going to go down. So Zaraki's going to lose his natural base, and this is a very bad situation. Game's now way ahead in this game. Lings are trying to push up the ramp. The drones are helping, but there are more rallied Lings coming in. It looks like the hatchery is not going to even be focused by Games. He's just going to move all the way into the main for the kill. There is no sunken. Zaraki is down to only 5 or 6 drones. They're being pulled off the line. He actually doesn't have money to make any Lings right now because of the Spire. Games has hit that ideal timing where Zaraki was trying to save from Yuta and didn't have enough Lings, and then by the time he started making Lings, it was too late. And with the rallied Lings, I think there's just too many. Zaraki doesn't seem to have the money to produce them. He's going back to his drones, going to try to defend with the drill, but that is 0 mining for Zaraki right now. And now the Lings are dead, and just cleaning up the drones. 3 drones, 2 drones. We do have 2 sneaky Lings, but Games has Lings in position here to defend. 1 goes down, but there are no drones left for Zaraki, and not enough money to rebuild. GG. This series is tied at 3-3. So I guess we're gonna go cast set 3 now.
Wow. Sass being brought to ace match.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising actually.
Has Sass gone to ace match before? Because they haven't lost yet. So this potentially could be the closest Sass has ever gotten to coming to a loss in this league. No. And no, okay, last week they did. Or 2 weeks ago, but the last time they played. They went to ace. Okay, joining. Game already started.
What? Alright, we'll go 4 W's and a 1.
So we are coming back to
The 3rd set to see what
third
happens.
set.
Watch this will be like a 2-hour game. Alright, so spawning in the top position is the orange Terran. We have Lumix. And in the left-hand position as the white Zerg, we have Finito. Lumix is B- high, Finito I think a little bit stronger. So I think he'd be favored here.
Alright. So it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but both players are mining from their small patch. That's technically not good. If you mine from the small patch, then it depletes before all the other ones, obviously, and then you're mining from less patches overall for a longer period of time. But if you save it until the last thing you mine, so that when you have 9 SCVs, they're mining from all the 9 biggest patches and no one's on the smallest patch, then you'll keep it open for a little while longer, so your mining will be a little bit faster. It's like a really small thing, but technically you're not supposed to mine from the small patch.
I had never even thought about that.
Yeah. So, pool is down. Pool is down for Finito, and barracks is down for Lumix. He has a supply depot in the very front there, but he didn't build the barracks there as well. That would have been closer to a wall than what we saw on our last game on this map. And I guess now we're going to see how long that SCV can block the hatchery. Apparently not very long.
Nope, and he's gonna have to deal with 2 racks. 2 racks pressure. And we've got a gas steal. But Finito did open with overpool, so he's gonna have Lings out pretty fast. comes the drone. Forced to run away.
Oh, interesting. Gonna delay mutants for a little while, I guess. Potentially he could have been going for speed. Alright, and on the other side, Refinery getting pretty close to being done, and Academy's on the way. So, good number of Marines, and Stim will be done. So pretty strong standard attack for Terran, going to be out rather soon here. Hatchery number 2 finishing for Finito, and he has started the 3rd, so his game plan looking pretty standard. And he's gonna be moving out a little bit early. No, okay, he's coming back. I was gonna say it's possible to move out with that number of Marines, and sometimes you can bait your opponent into building the sunken if you don't plan on going for the attack with the medics. But typically, it's better to just wait for the medics, and then Stim will be done by the time you get there, as opposed to if he had gone at that time, then Stim would be irrelevant. They're on the way for Finito, and he is building one sunken colony at the very least. He sees the army coming out. This one sunken colony is probably not going to be enough, though. And, oh, Finito trying to get a little bit cute with the Ling backstab, but went for it a little bit early. Marines are easily able to deal with it. One Zergling managed to get out with 1 hit point left. And Stim going up, and the eBay's going up. Finito, Lumix actually is really delaying his expansion. Getting it after the eBay.
Yeah, and Finito has 3 sunken, so he should be okay against this little poke. There's only 2 Marines in there and only a few medics.
I'm actually really surprised that he's not expanding. Alright, well, the Spire's on the way for Finito. As to be expected. Range will be done, and Stim will be done. The engineering bay is a little bit early, and he's floating it out? No, he's just repositioning it. I'm actually not sure if he's gonna just get +1 and go 1 base on this. Oh, maybe he was trying to expand there. The
Trying to sneak in the Lings, too slow to react, so they will sneak in. And Finito will get a complete scout off.
Lumix moving out once again, and it's still a relatively small army. I'm not sure if that's enough to get past 3 Sunkens. It could be a little bit closer, though. The more important issue is the fact that the Mutalisks are on the way. He's finally got the command center down. It's about halfway done. But it looks like the turrets are just now... There is a single turret being started in the main, and absolutely nothing in the natural. I don't think he's going to be able to defend the natural against Mutalisks. Mutalisks are already out. The timings just feel a little bit off from Lumix this game. And here they come. The command center, is it even going to be able to finish? Yes, they will be able to finish. The Mutalisks don't directly go after the SCV. But any aggression he was thinking about immediately going to have to be cancelled. He does at the very least have a lot of Marines. So you don't need turrets if you can have your Marines in the correct position at all times, but it's difficult to do on any map, especially on this map. See what he's able to do. There are 2 turrets now in the main, going up to 4. Mutalists right now are just content to pick away at the supply depot a little bit, stim out from the Marines, Mutalists back off, don't take any damage from them. And now we have at least one turret and a second turret in the natural. We have +1 getting pretty close to finishing for Lumix, and we have one factory that he built rather early, and it's now just lifted off. Curious about that.
Again, Finito flying in here, picking away at the turrets. It's interesting that he's not just harassing the natural that has no turrets at it, or for a while had no turrets, and instead he just went and attacked this supply depot. Maybe he just wanted to pull back Marines and try to pick off some Marines, but it was a little bit strange on the decision-making side. Yeah, factory's still flooded. Third barracks coming down. No sign of a starport yet, though.
Lurker upgrade almost finished. And, ooh, interesting expansion from Finito. Hops a drone over and goes for the Island Expo.
Likely doing that to get access to a third gas rather than having that backdoor one that does not have gas.
Right. The issue is that he's not going to be able to make anything out of there. Which, I guess is not that big of an issue. There's also the small issue of if Terran goes for drops, but that doesn't seem like it's really relevant.
So Lumix is currently gasless now, as the Muta have picked off the refinery.
Well, he feels comfortable enough in the turrets to have the Marines move out, but the Lurkers are done. So this is still going to be a really difficult fight to get through for him. He did scan and see the Lurkers. Is he just going to back off, or is he spreading him out just enough to go in for an attack? He's posturing.
Yeah, there's 4 Lurkers there, and that's going to force his Marines into a narrow area. I don't think he can go for it.
I don't think he can either.
The Muta can continue to deny the gas. That's got to be really annoying. So Lumix is getting no gas right now. He can make only Marines. He's making one vessel, but that's it. He actually has enough gas for a second vessel too, but for the moment he can't do anything about it. Muta's picking off the first depot, and they're going to get a second one as well. So these Muta are being pretty damn annoying for Lumix.
Yeah, he hasn't researched Irradiate yet. I was going to say, he needs to use this gas on that. But he does start it. Alright, well, the hive is done for... The hive is done for Finito, and there we go. I'm looking for whether he's going to throw that Defiler Mount or the Ultralisks. Going for the standard Defiler Mount first. And the... The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about for Finito is that it's... Oh, here we go. Big attack coming in, flying in all the Mutalisks first, and they haven't even fired a shot yet.
Yeah, I think he wanted to use the Muta like that, but he flew way over. I thought he was just going to attack with them, which might have been okay-ish, but he's like, fly it over.
Yeah. I mean, probably could have served that exact same purpose with a couple overlords. Whatever, it worked out for him.
Yeah, he's still got a supply advantage. He's got 3 gas. So here comes Lumix with his mostly Marine army. I think there's one vessel, but it doesn't appear to be with his army yet.
It's around.
It's in a little bit of danger being flanked from everything on all sides. Will it be coordinated? No, the Lings are running way by. I don't know where the Lings are headed. The vessel can actually see them. And now Lumix has to be a little bit nervous, oh my god, there's a lot of stuff on a lot of sides of me.
Still hasn't made a tank this game. He built the machine shop, but all the gas issues he's had hasn't let him build one, and I'm not sure if he's even going to at this point. No, he's building a second starport. I think he's abandoning tanks altogether.
Yeah, he's going 2-port, he's going SK Terran type stuff here. Alright, so consume is done. In fact, we can see Defiler consuming now. And now Lumix has to make sure he stays on the map, doesn't get pushed back to his natural or something like that. Rains are running in here, lots of lurkers that can just kind of be picked off as is. And Lumix is getting a bunch of free kills here. And now the lurkers do burrow again. Here comes the Defiler moving forward. Actually a little bit vulnerable, being picked off. Swarm goes down. Second swarm goes down, but way early thrown down. So Lumix could just move back.
Alright.
Lumix only has 4 barracks though.
Yeah. And we just finished the 4th one. This is just weird. A little weird game between these two.
At least there's some mines out, but... So I guess he's not going to commit fully to SK Terran, or maybe he just realizes that this swarm counterattack is pretty dangerous. And he's almost at the natural now. Lumix is going to be so careful. If another Defiler is able to get up here, the situation is going to get really ugly. He should be able to radiate this one Defiler here soon. Yeah, finally he's able to radiate it. So he might not get swarmed into his natural right this moment, but...
Alright. There's a fire bat on Lumix's ramp. Do me a favor and click on him. That's totally soot around his face. Like, you can see the goggle marks from where there is not soot. Like, that's all I'm saying.
I'll buy into this.
And, like, I think that you can use the same logic on the SCV. Like, it's not as obvious with the SCV. But all I'm saying is it's inconclusive. that is my stance.
Further studies will be needed. Nice radiate sub by Lumix. Keeping those Defilers from really getting out on the map. Finito having a little bit of trouble here. I mean, he's still in a good position, just trouble getting anywhere with his swarms.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to use Defilers on this map, because there's no terrain out in the middle. Absolutely nothing. It is just barren. So anytime he throws down a swarm in the middle of the map, there's nothing to prevent Terran from just kind of walking away. And, oh, he picked up the Defiler. Yeah, he managed to snipe the Defiler before he picked up the swarm.
And he didn't actually lose that much. He only lost a few Marines, which is fine.
There are Scourge there that go after this. Nope, I'm not going to. Alright. So what I was saying was, when you throw down a swarm, there's nothing to prevent Terran from just running away. It's not like on other maps where you can kind of trap them, force them through a choke, and pick them off as they go through it. On this map, it would have favored him more than other maps to have gone Ultraless. That's a plague. Wow. 5.
And there's another swarm. Defiler's still alive at this point. So he continues to try to push Lumix to his natural, but has not managed to succeed yet in that goal. Needs to get a few more lings up here, more consuming or something, and Lumix trying to get out of his natural with some units, but not that many make it, and he's only got this small cluster left. Supplies beginning to close. We do have a drop coming in now into the main base being unloaded, but it is instantly cleaned up by lings. I'm surprised Lumix even bothers to unload. Just kind of donates those units. I don't know if there's Scourge around to clean it up or not. That is a lot of vessels, though. Can irradiate that stuff pretty quick.
Drop not doing a whole lot.
He doesn't have much energy on his vessels, though. In fact, none of them actually have energy for irradiate. Oh, a bunch more Defilers and Lurkers arrive, but there's no swarm. Whoops! A little bit miscoordinated there. We need a swarm or something if he wants to push in here further. Finito's got to eat the ling. Does Lumix have? He's got enough for an irradiate, but a swarm goes up. The Defiler's going to try to throw down a second. No, but it dies too soon. Lurker's not moving forward into the swarm now. Maybe worried about mines. Trying to drag them with that one ling, unable to do so. Mind back. And 2 Lurkers here are burrowed, but I think he may have forgotten they exist. Finito does not reinforce very well, though. I must say. I feel like some of these attacks, if you were remembering his units and like reinforcing, he caused some problems. Also, holy fucking vessels. We're up to like 10 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 8 or 9? I don't even know. Either way, it's a lot of vessels.
It's 8 and there's 1 in the base. Part of this problem is the fact that he has 2 expos that are on islands. So that means he's only producing off of 3 hatcheries.
No, I know that, but I mean he's just leaving large piles of stuff
Yeah.
in his natural rather than sending it in quickly.
I'll agree that he's not the most coordinated player.
Whoa, there's the plague. Lumix actually had a really sick... It was just too late. His stuff bloomed incredibly awesomely, but it was just a second too slow. Unless that was just in response to the plague. Natural running away, but they all ran away in like a complete outward motion. But, and also, guess what there is sitting right above these vessels? Probably forgotten, but there's a Mutalisk sitting above every one of these 3 health plagued vessels. How the hell do they only go to 3 health? That plague does 250.
It does damage in increments of 3, but it can't kill them.
Oh,
So
it's
if
in
they have
increments of
3
3. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
One
It's
vessel
either
goes
3 or 4.
down. He's gotten rid of
But-
2 of them now, and now he's using some Hydra under the swarm.
No, it's definitely 3. No, it can't be 3.
It's a strange game. Lumix has a huge supply lead, but like neither player has quite been able to like kill the other player. He's just keeping Lumix really pinned, but Lumix is eventually going to start to mine out. We got a mass drop from Lumix too. Although only one of the dropships is loaded. And there's an STV loaded in one of these dropships. The fuck? The fuck is going on? One of them not loaded, a decoy. One of them has an SCV. This will be enough of a drop these things will actually die. So now coming back to defend, he will need a swarm probably. Defilers are eating drones to get the swarm up, or a plague will work, that'll do it too. Well, if he keeps his stuff alive long enough, that'll do it. There we go, now the Hydra coming back, and quickly cleans up the drop. Lumix does take this opportunity though to move with his own army.
I was really excited to see the Hive Tech countered by...
Holy shit, that lurker just got 14 kills. Skylam had an army, and it all died to 1 lurker.
I was really excited to see Hive Tech get countered by a bunker rush drop.
Late game bunker rush drops, redefining the Terran meta since 2014. Now it looks like Lumix might be running out of stuff. It's really close to mined out too. Plague's going off, Lurker trying to push in here. Mine to back, sick mine, but a few Lurkers stay alive. Almost at the naturals, almost to the point of shutting down mining.
Yeah. Okay, this time we have 2 SCVs loaded up. The SCV got killed off too quickly last time. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Mix. So close to revolutionizing the game with his bunker rush drops. Alright, Hydros are coming in. Do the Hydros have upgrades? They do have a little bit of upgrades. But the first tank 20 minutes in has been made by Lumix.
But now there's like 8 billion Hydras in the natural, and no units. GG. Score is tied 3-3, and we will be going to ace match. And of all the teams to take status to ace match, the fact that it's iwL is really surprising.
PSD and iwL.
You know, for a game that Finito had double the resources, it took him a long time to kill Lumix.
Yeah, it was a special game. Special players.
So now we shall deliver unto you an ace match, unlike any ace match ever before seen. Actually, I have no idea who it's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know either. Last time they sent Skyline for Ace, Sass did. So, potentially sending him again? iwL's never gone to Ace?
So, probably ace for iwL. Yep, so it's draw against ace. So draw is going to have one of the most challenging fights he has had in a long time here. As ace is very good and looked to be in okay form from his last game anyway.
Well, last game he kind of attacked with lurkers and won.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do anything wrong in that game. There's no way I can criticize him, but
I mean, he
I don't
didn't have
know.
to do as much multitasking since he already had his lurker set up, but he made good decisions and just won pretty effortlessly.
Yeah, let's just say that game he had didn't allow us to see his true potential. It was a limiting game.
Ape Toss, yes, it is the foreign team league, so it's like the foreign, pro league, if you will.
Interesting spot for a pylon. I guess he's not going to have his stuff forward at all. It's going to be a very far back wall, and that involves the Nexus. Destination is a really terrible map to wall in on.
Yeah, especially this top position is really a pain in the butt to wall.
And a 9 pull from Ace. We'll be scouted out by draw. Wait, no, I'm sorry, that was an overpull. My bad. Overpull from Ace. Alright. I definitely do like strategies that involve early lanes on this map. The distance isn't very far, and I think you really can't abuse the fact that Protoss can't wall. Huh. I was not expecting the Forge to go there.
Yeah, I've seen two variations of this. One is he's going to have the Forge there and the gateway there. The other is the Forge is one more to the left, and then the gateway is against the wall on the right. And that leaves just a gap between the left side of the gateway and that little spit of rock. This way will also leave a bit of a gap, but... Yeah, usually when I do the wall here, I do the Forge, I think, definitely one to the left and maybe down one. But I think what Draw's doing is totally fine as well.
I guess by putting it there, it does make more. It does put it closer to the Nexus, so he can block that with a probe. And then, if it's does the pylon extend far enough for him to put the gateway directly next to the Forge?
The gateway will be above the Forge, I suspect, above and to the left of it.
So then, a pretty big gap over on the left side.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's an awkward wall, but... Oh, actually, Draws is being... That's a really strange wall. Maybe that is tight. I have a hard time believing this is going to be not have two gaps in it between the gate and the Forge and on the left side, but we'll see. If there is somehow not a gap to the left of the gateway, then this wall is really slick. I like it, but otherwise, I think
but the gateway's not even touching the Forge, right?
No, it's not. But that would be the one gap is between the gate and the Forge. But I also think there's going to be a gap on the left side of the gate.
And between the Forge and the Nexus.
Yeah, but that's not so bad because that is really windy and not very effective for a Ling run by. You can plumb that up pretty easily if he even tries.
Yeah, but it's like, ugh.
And there's no surface area. Alright, but Ace is going to try the old run around the back way, but there's a cannon there. And probes can be blocked easily, so he's not going to commit to that.
I don't think they can be blocked that easily.
They don't path well through there. Like 6 or even 8 speedlings trying to run through that is not scary if they try to run between the Nexus and the Forge.
Oh, sorry, not between the Nexus and the Forge. I was thinking, I was looking at the circlings just going around the back.
Oh,
running.
No, usually what you do is you put a pylon, the left side minnow, you put a pylon right above it.
I did
if
that
they
with
go for
the
that.
Cybercore.
Joe's gotta be a little careful with this zealot or he's gonna lose it. There we go, now he pulls it back. Yeah, you put either the Cybercore or the pylon right there, and then they can't do the run by. But yeah, Draw is having a little bit of trouble with these Lings as they are messing around with this natural gas. Now with 2 Zealots, so he can chase those Lings out. Doing a nice job too, keeping the probe still alive, and that's actually a pretty good job of keeping the probe alive, since he was actually actively microing the 2 Zealots and probes in that fight. So that's some indication that Draw's multitask is alive and well. You know, it's one thing to kind of like absent-mindedly like move a Zealot at some Lings, but he was actively pulling the Zealot back and pulling probes into fight and stuff like that.
Alright. Draw... Okay, Draw has the first Corsair coming out, and the Citadel behind it. Yeah, I've clearly been casting too much. Casting too much TVP, because I saw him throw down the Stargate and the Citadel, which is a completely standard thing to do in PvZ. But my first thought was, he's going Arbiters? What? A little early for Arbiters Draw.
That'd be awesome if he just went 2 base Arbiter recall. Just recall the main or something ridiculous.
I don't know. Like, in all the games of the many years I've casted, I think the only people I've seen do it more than once is Draw and Desakwe to go recall PvZ.
Yeah, I'm worried. I hope we can get an inside man on Korea to get those snipe streams up and running again.
Oh, they went down?
They're around, but the quality is really low because the connection to Korea is not that great. Although apparently right now the issue is with Snipe's computer itself, or Snipe's internet isn't good enough to, doesn't have enough upload. So he's waiting on that, but he thinks his connection in Norway to snipe a lot, to Afrika, is decent. So we'll see what happens when he gets a new internet connection. But if it's still bad, then it's an issue with Korea. So 3 Sunkens being made.
Alright. We have 2 DTs coming out from Draw. I like the use of DTs. He's not going to be able to do any damage to any of the drones. The bases are pretty close together, and Ace already has at least 1 spore, but Overlords and lots of defense at all of the bases. Really, though, what it is going to do is it's going to clear up the bridge. It's not going to allow Ace to just kind of sit out there indefinitely with Lings and then eventually Hydralisk and then eventually Lurkers. And he might be able to get something going with the DPs.
Alright, so here comes the +1 attack from Draw. Actually, now it's +1. It's just Zealot with DT. +1's getting pretty close to finishing, though. And he's got now 6 gateways of production kicking in. A few High Templar popping out, and no sign of Storm research yet. I wonder if he's started it or already has it. Haha. One guy sacrificed for everyone and moved to Korea. I would if I had the money to do it. It'd be kind of fun to hold it there for a year or 2. But sadly, I am a little too poor to manage that. My savings consists of $200 or something, maybe. I don't even know if I could afford the plane ticket there. And then I'd have to get the internet connection. I guess all of Korea, though, has pretty sick internet connection, though. Like, I don't think it would cost that much to get, like, insane internets.
Actually, I'm a little bit surprised by how passively Ace has been. He pulled back his Lings even before the DTs came out, so he was really content with just turtling up. And he's going to be on 4 bases really easily, but he's allowed Draw to take a 3rd, and I think that a 3rd base should be really hard for Protoss to take on Destination. I don't think the Zerg should just allow it to happen.
Well, he may not be allowing it to happen. We do see a lot of units moving onto the field for Ace.
There are DTs, though. I don't know if he has Overlord speed. I don't think he does.
No, they're slow. That DT is really obnoxious then. I mean, it is just 1, but it's still pretty obnoxious.
There's a second one. No, there was a second one. It backed off. It's in the middle of the map now. Yeah, there's no way they can attack with the DTs out. So he needs the Overlord speed, which is a little bit over halfway done now. And the lurker upgrade, not too far behind that, a little bit under halfway done.
But of course, Ace is getting his 4th behind this, so he's not going to feel too bad about this position, even if it is a gasless 4th.
Alright. So, draws +2 is about halfway done. Ace has 1 evolution chamber.
He's got 2, but he hasn't started upgrading in the one that just finished over at his left-hand base.
Okay, there it is. I was looking for the second one. Yeah. So his +1 armor is getting pretty close to being done, but Draw will have the upgrade advantage for a while, and having 1 extra attack over compared to Zerg's defense means that Zealot's 2-shot Lings instead of 3-shot him. Really does help with the fights, even if there aren't that many Lings out now. But they're around. Draw being rather aggressive here, moving into position at the 3rd, but the lurkers are done, and there is an observer out, so these lurkers can't just fight alone. They're going to need some backup. The backup's coming, but it's a little bit slow behind. Draw's going to have a good position. The storm go off. The storm's a little bit early, and actually...
Still pretty damaging storms, though.
Yeah, it didn't look like he hit the majority of the majority of Ace's stuff, but Ace just kept fighting into it, so he did end up losing a lot. And Draw, he has a lot of stuff here. Ace, I mean, he still does have a big army, but it did not seem like he microed that fight very well at all. And now, Draw's just going to be able to bully him out here. Another storm, Ace dodges. But man, he's just going to get pushed back. The one saving grace that Ace has right now is that he did SimCity very meticulously. So it's going to be hard for Draw to attack either of the bases. But man, Zerg should not be bullied by Protoss at this stage in the game like that. Yeah. Second Forge done for Draw, so he's getting double upgrades as well. And the Hive now started for Ace.
Oh, Ops gets sniped off. 1 lurker here on the high ground being a little bit annoying, but looks like it's no Draw's using the Archon to try to kill off the lurker. Couldn't use the Archon splash, but he left too soon. I think he's just gonna wait for an Obs now. But Draw does have a very large supply advantage. Whoop.
I heard the shadow. There it is. Right. So Draw can do some storm drops now. And he's actually just moving out with his army once again. Ace starting to move his army kind of in position to deal with it. He has units on both sides now. Is he going to go for a big attack here? He's moving in with enough stuff that it looks like he wants to attack, but not with his entire army. He's going to lose a couple control groups worth of Hydralisks and Lings. You really can't afford to be doing that right now. The Hive tech is finished, but he doesn't have anything to show for it yet.
There's a lot of lurkers committed over there at that base on the right-hand side. He's got like 7 just kind of sitting over there. It doesn't leave him with much army anywhere else since he's so low in supply.
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for Ace. Nearly maxed Protoss supply block, but supply blocked at 187, where Ace is just at 84. And shoot, what's this one?
Okay, Draw is upgrading from double forges, so he's going to be 3-1 here pretty soon.
Ace is trying to attack, but Draw has the upgrade advantage, has a really, really big unit advantage, and has the tech advantage, considering that Ace doesn't have Defilers or Ultralisks, or maybe not even Cracklings at this point. It's looking pretty grim.
Drill will not quite be able to break across these bridges, I don't think, as the lurkers have come over here to defend, but he is still working on taking this 4th base. Doesn't have a pylon over here yet, though, for cannons. And now just trying to come up the ramp. But I don't think he'll be able to force his way up the ramp, brute force-wise. Got speed shuttle coming around here. And here we go, we got to drop into the main with a couple zealots. Just going to harass there and head around to the backside with the Templar. Meanwhile, Ace is counterattacking at draws 3rd while the shuttle heads around behind. So now we've got multi-action here in about 3 places. Zealots are still killing some stuff in the main. Templar are throwing off storms here on this drone, getting a few of them. Draw easily cleaning up though with his Templar there, the 4th. And now a Templar coming over to Ace's back base. And the drop goes down. Most of the drones are dying over here. And Ace is trying to attack uphill at Draw's expansion. Doesn't work. Too low on drones from the harass and says GG.
Alright. Yep.
And SAS will hold on to their undefeated record.
Pretty good showing though from iwL.
Yeah, they certainly made a good fight of it.
Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. This is going to be my last cast. I think Javala said that he's going to find somebody to replace me. I know Elmaster's still going to be around, so you'll have him. I'm not sure if there will be someone new though. So, big thanks to the Brood War Initiative. Really appreciative of what they're doing. A bunch of really good guys up there. Respect them a lot. That's gonna be it for me. Take care, everyone.
Alright, man. See you later. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time, possibly with some new co-caster. I'm not exactly sure what will happen, but you'll know